Hello everyone. Welcome back to Zero Tolerance TV. MZT. Going to be getting into a new tournament, I guess. This is the group stages again, I think. This is a 2003 My Cube OSL. That's what it's called. Map is Paradox, and our players here are Zeus and XellOs. The Zeus on the right is going to be playing as a Protoss, and XellOs is a Terran player. Just saying, you know, if we assume that Terrans are weirdos and Protosses are complete chads, just looking at their hairstyles, it's, you know, it works out, man. Zeus definitely, you know, he's got that cowlick or whatever. I guess it's not that, but it's, you know, spiked up in the front, and then XellOs, classic basement gamer hairstyle, just perfect. So. Completely irrelevant comment aside, we're gonna get to the game now. This is on Paradox, and you'll see that the bases are really fucking weird on this map. One, look at all these mineral patches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 patches? That's insane, and 2 gas as well. So I think the basic idea here is you don't actually have to expand. You start with an expansion on this map. Now, it might be good to expand anyway, just to get your worker production up, but as far as the amount of resources you have available to you at the beginning, it looks like you basically just get 2 bases. Okay, and actually this is great. Look at the map. I'm not sure. Oh, this looks like it might be an island map. I think it is, yeah. So looking at this, we've got an island map, kind of more like a continent map almost. It's not really islands, but there are 2 islands vertical to your main. There's an easy expansion. Then there's a middle continent with 2 bases on it as well that I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of fighting over. So this is a really interesting map. I don't know if it's really a paradox, because that would be like things that just don't work, you know? Like a paradox is like you go back in time and kill your father. Well, how can you exist if your father is dead? I don't know. You can't. That's a paradox. This is just a weird map. But either way, we're getting into it. I'm wondering if there's going to be another skip. I think it might have been the first thing I casted for this channel was Gur, the major he won, and it was the first map was an island map, and it just confused the hell out of me when it skipped the first part of the game. But I did figure out what that was eventually, why they did that. It's just the boring early part of an island map. Like, nothing can happen until you have Corsairs and, you know, like Overlord drops or whatever, or Mutas. So they skipped the early part of the game, which seems pretty understandable. You can read those statistics. Let me know what they say. I have no idea. Looks like somebody has a pretty good win percentage or something. 66.7 is quite good. Unsurprisingly, it doesn't look like that Gateway is going to build a Zealot here. Can't say I'm too surprised. And yeah, the first barracks is going to go Scout. I kind of like this. Seems like definitely a little advantage that Terran can have in this type of map is just float your production over to their island if you want. Like, they're probably not making any Zealots or very many Dragoons to fight. Maybe, you know, there was a lot of space to the left of Zeus's main and to the right of XellOs' main. You could just float a factory over there and start making siege tanks or whatever, and or vultures, I guess, would probably be better, and do some harassment like that, which is pretty nice. Robo opening for Zeus, I kind of like it. Reavers are just amazing anyway, so why not? And a quick CC for XellOs, so like I said, it might be good to take that base early anyway. And for Terran, I guess you can just, like, float the CC over to it and get a free base. That's quite difficult for Protoss to really do anything about. Looks like this map's pretty big, too. Very long distances between these 2 players. And with all these resources, I do expect this game to go pretty long. I think island maps, just in general, lend themselves towards long games as well. A Citadel of Dunes. This looks like it's going to be a DT drop. I don't really know what else you would bother getting that for, especially considering where the Citadel is made. Definitely in an anti-scan location. The barracks is going to be coming in here to scout. There is a Dragoon ready, so it won't have free reign over the base, but if XellOs is willing to sacrifice his barracks, he will probably get some pretty good info. Often, a very good player will be able to sort of figure out that something's missing just from their scout. But actually, a second goon is here, so not really much of a scout going on. Like I was saying, a really good player can sort of look at your main and say, you know, where's your stuff? You should be doing more than this. Now, this is a very weird map, so that's probably diminished quite a bit. Much less practice on a map like this, that's for sure. Alright, so the Temple Archive is about halfway done. Shuttle, I'm assuming, will be out in time. And yeah, this has to be DT drop. I can't imagine it being anything else. I think that's dropship being made, probably. Could be a Wraith for sure. You know, Zeus did see Robo, so he might be worried about a drop. Observer's gonna get a good scout off here. Seems pretty safe, not a lot of turrets up yet or anything like that. Actually, I don't think... Yeah, there's no eBay made yet either, so definitely no turrets. And here we go. Dropship is done, as expected. And, gonna be going for that drop now. Did that shuttle have the DTs already? I think it was... Oh no, he moved Dragoons to the middle of the map is what he did. Or something to the middle of the map. Okay. Oh, yeah, interesting. Dropping the Goliaths on his expansion island. Okay, and DTs are done now, so this shuttle is on its way. And I believe the Robo was scouted, but I'm quite certain the DT tech was not. Zeus is feeling good, nodding his head. Looks like XellOs isn't really getting aggressive with his drops. He's just sort of ferrying units over to his expansion to protect it, expecting that to be the location Zeus attacks. No, he does have a scanner, so there is detection for these DTs. He's not just going to die to them or anything like that. The question is, can they get some damage done? Definitely would be better if they split up. Now, could try to surround a Goliath here even. Yeah, that is what he's planning on. Oh, wow, but a nice reaction there from XellOs. Kills one DT and loses none of his Goliaths. Still, trading a DT for a scan is fine. You obviously would much prefer actually getting that Goliath there. But that is kind of how it works. You want to try to run them out of scans with your DTs and maybe get some worker damage done or just bruise up and kill a few Goliaths. Not really happening though. Those two DTs kind of baited the scan, or the three DTs. One of them died and the last two just ran out of there to do more ninja things later. Here we go, coming back in, but a turret is finished now. It looks like that's actually Zeus's target, but instead another DT just dies for free. Pretty painful. This has not been a good DT rush so far. Okay, now we do have the second Nexus started. Quite a bit behind XellOs' second base, so Zeus is... I'd say he's behind here. He went for DTs that really didn't do anything, and has a much later expansion. He does have a better position in the middle of the map, though, if that means anything. And with DTs here, it's going to be very difficult for any real damage to get done. Can the dropship die? No. It gets out. So, still, very similar to Zeus's attacks, which is to say they're just getting smacked. Looks like the eBay is going to go out and scout very spread out factories. I'm not sure what's up with that. XellOs just wants his buildings to take up extra space, maybe. I say that pretty sarcastically, I guess. I don't know why he's doing that. I always find having buildings closer together like these gateways is a lot more convenient. just less mouse moves. And let's say if you can't accurately click on a factory that's next to another factory, you probably are not going to be good enough to be a pro gamer. So that's just a thought. Since I can do it pretty damn easily. And you can trust me on this. I am nowhere near a pro gamer. I did get masters in StarCraft 2. You know, low masters. I've been pretty happy about that, you know. As a Protoss player, but like, I don't know. Fuck you if you hold it against me. If you think that matters. This isn't Wings of Liberty though. That was when Terran was just broken. Yeah, I'm just going with it. And look, oh, is that DT stuck? The DT might have been stuck under the gateway. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. But I think we should all agree that the real problem in Wings of Liberty was Terran. I mean, they're just a stupid race. It's just silly. There's quite a few dropships here. Kind of trying to find a foothold on this middle continent, but this is what I was talking about with Zeus's position on it is pretty good. You know, he hasn't taken these bases yet, but it's going to be like the campaign missions where you have to assault like a Terran or whatever who already has a base on a map. Like that shit's hard. And he can't even build Corsairs, right? Like Corsairs with the disruption web can be really good for that. Just not care about their static or, you know, the Dragoons or whatever on the ground, but he's playing Terran. Kind of just has to get over there the old-fashioned way with dropships, which can be pretty difficult. Also, Wraiths are just really ass when it comes to fighting ground units. Like, one Dragoon probably beats 2 Wraiths. I don't know, I've never tested that, but I bet they might. So, it can be kind of tough for Terran to actually get a ground position. Here we go, he's trying, but there's 2 Templar here. He might be coming down in storms, or actually there just won't be any storms, and I guess late storms is what it is eventually. But the Goliaths do get out, and some, well, they do get cleaned up here by the Goon Templar with some Zealots. The thing about Goliaths too is they're just not good at fighting ground units either. Terran mech units kind of need that synergistic position. Like, you want to have siege tanks with stuff in front of them, be it Goliaths or ideally even Vultures, just because they're so cheap. You know, running into Protoss units like that is just a horrible way for Terrans to fight. That's not what they want to be doing at all, so kind of tough. What is this? Oh, there's no ramp. Oh, I don't know. This map is wild. This is a weird map. Still not a paradox, but whatever. Like, this could have just called this weird fucking map. That would have been fine. Still gonna be going with this Goliath plan. One thing that's always confused me is how you fit 4 Goliaths into a dropship. Like, what is that? Telling me Goliaths are that much smaller than Dragoons? Like, half the size of a Dragoon? Not to mention that when a Protoss unit is in a shuttle, it's in digital form, which is fucking weird, but I think that's how it works. Literally turned into code. Yeah, I'm a little surprised that that it's so easy for XellOs to take that base on the center continent when Zeus already has such a strong position there, but I guess no ramps down to those bases means it's actually not that hard. And the Doom Drop is in now. I think that was 6 dropships. Really just nothing here to defend. No Reavers. Oh, the storms though are actually so big. Look at all these storms blanketed on top of the Goliaths, killing a bunch of them, but looks like 8 of them are left here, and really not much left for Zeus to defend with. So it looked really bad for those Goliaths for a moment, but they kind of just got in here, and now they're killing probes, which is definitely not what Zeus thought was going to be happening here. Probes getting pulled to fight. They are low health Goliaths, so they might kill a few of them, but I doubt that they're going to get them all. There's some DTs now. Those will be much better at fighting them off. And looks like most of the Goliaths have been cleaned up by now, but still getting more probe kills. Decent damage there done for XellOs. That was a lot of Goliaths though, so certainly not free. Here we go again, just pure Goliath. It's kind of funny to see. Just not a composition that you would really ever see in a normal game of StarCraft. But I guess with an island map like this, maybe that's just what you do. I don't know. It's funny. It's definitely different. Kind of looking forward to more games on this map, but I'm also kind of dreading them. So we'll have to see. And yeah, I was a little worried about this. Yes, you can take this base, but gotta say, you know, if you own the continent, the mid-continent, you still do have easier access to those islands. And these two dropships should be able to just wreak havoc on this base. Yeah, it is actually forced to lift off. I think all the SCVs are dead that were here. CC's getting hit by this Archon, but yeah, it's gonna get away. Some of those SCVs are still alive. Alright, we've got another move out with these dropships, completely scouted this time. And oh boy, walking into some units. That one poor Goliath got dropped out. Man, that's just a tragedy right there. No fun for that Goliath. So where is this? That I think that those Goliaths were unloaded on the base, sort of eastern base on the continent. Whoa. Okay. All right, we're good. We're good. Just you know, switching cams. Oh, you know what it was? It was switching to the Zeus first-person cam. So this is what he's looking at. Lots of tabbing. Sometimes it definitely looks like the pro gamers do a lot of sort of unnecessary clicking, just tabbing between your unit groups, but there's probably some reason to do that. I don't think they would just do it for nothing. Maybe they would. I'd just keep your hands hot. Warm, maybe, is a better word. More Goliaths being ferried to this island, though, it looks like. Love to see the supply right now. I really just don't know where this game is at. Okay, a couple vultures being dropped off here, but a bunch of units ready. Kind of an unnecessary storm, but does kill all three of those Goliaths without using any units, so that's pretty good. Oh man, I just spilled a bit of coffee. Uh-oh. That's why you don't drink late? No, you definitely should drink while you cast. I don't know. I'm not going anywhere with this. It's just a mistake. You should have water, though. Which, like, is here, but I only have one cup, so it's gotta get the coffee up first. So it looks like Zeus is going into carriers here. Stargate carrier. I do think carriers... Oh wow, those are some really nice storms from those Goliaths. Again, just a bunch of damage. And more, we're seeing that Goliaths just suck at fighting gateway units. Some of the dropships even getting caught here now as they try to unload the Goliaths, but even the ones that get down just get mulched by these Dragoons. Painful to see those poor Goliath pilots just sent to their doom really for nothing. I don't know, maybe a couple Zealots died there, but barely anything. It's really rough for those poor pilots. You know, you just gotta feel bad for them sometimes. But like I was saying, I think carriers have to be the tech of choice on a map like this. One, it's hard to kill your opponent. Like, usually the weakness of a carrier build is getting timing pushed. But you can't really do that here, or it's at least much more difficult. And obviously, you know, with all these islands, there's a lot of places for the carriers to run away from Goliath. So you kind of have to go into maybe race, I guess. I'm not sure. Okay. XellOs unloading those units on the low ground, I guess, of the continent there. Only to load the units back into his dropships. You just gotta keep that APM up, you know, you gotta use it for something. Some vultures out here, laying mines, pretty nice. A couple DTs and Zealots are walking in to drag them, and actually one Zealot does drag them into the vultures a bit. Only kills one, but still did get one. A couple DTs, yeah. Oh, actually only one of them died. I thought a couple of them were going to die to those mines there, but only one, so probably worth well enough. Even still, when you're building mineral-only units like vultures, trading for something like a DT is kind of always nice. More carriers finished here. Looks like we're up to 4 now. But a couple of these Stargates not producing. Definitely should be fixing that up. With this last base that XellOs is taking, where I've actually taken all the bases on the map, and he's mined out his main, so he's going to have to ferry some SCVs over there. Still some some minerals left in Zeus's main, but not that many. Definitely wants to transfer those probes out as well. I think a lot of this game might come down to fighting over one of these bases. The sort of southeast base on the continent, I think, is probably what we're going to be having some fights over. Now with these carriers out as well, it's going to be a pretty strong position from the high ground, I think. Again, I mean, I'd love to see some tanks even. I think you have to build them. Even though it sucks to build them on an island map where you can only move 2 at once, I think you need them to be fighting. Now this is basically all Goliaths, so they're going to be able to deal with the carriers well enough, but oh my god, here come the shuttles unloading this gateway army, and I gotta say, like I've been saying this whole time, gateway units are really good against Goliaths. Now a lot of the shuttles do go down there, but oh my god, some of these storms getting so much damage done, and the carriers are really what matters most. I think one of them did die, but 3 of them still left alive here. Gateway units trading for Goliaths is going to be a pretty good fight for Protoss in general. I think it might be best for Zeus to wait for another round of carriers before he does this. I think he's back down to 3, which is just not a great number. Yeah, it is down to 3 carriers. So one of them did die. But yeah, there we go. All 3 of them are producing now, as well as getting his upgrades. Definitely want to get at least your attack upgrades for carriers. I would think just all the upgrades. Eventually, anyway. So still moving a lot of units out of this island, and you kind of have to defend everywhere, and it's really difficult to move units around on this map. Definitely a weird one. Maybe just not a good time for Terran on this map in general, or island maps in general. Maybe you just have to go to battlecruisers. I think this is a great move. Putting photon cannons there is just a really easy thing to do. Shield batteries are a great idea as well. Keep those carriers nice and healthy. But photon cannons on the high ground versus Goliaths is just not a fun time for Goliaths. Definitely not where they want to be. Looks like he's going to scout them with these dropships maybe, but they're starting to finish up. So yeah, okay, the cannons are actually shooting now. Like I said, I mean, look, if Goliaths aren't good against gateway units in general, they're probably not very good against photon cannons either, and the high ground advantage is pretty nice, so this is funny. Okay, good. Some tanks are here, though. I think he needs those. Obviously, they're going to be great for shelling these photon cannons, but just gateway units in general, they're so good against Goliaths, and tanks are really just what you need to kill them. So I do like that some of those are getting mixed in. Obviously not going to be a ton of them, just because they're tough to get over here. Kind of slow. Moving tanks around is already kind of difficult, but they're getting picked off already. Zeus is doing a good job of keeping that count low. I think that's a pretty important thing for him to do. Lots of carriers fighting Goliaths, but here come the shuttles unloading this army, and we'll see what he can do with this attack now. Looks like enough gateway units to at least take a pretty decent fight here. More dropships coming in with more Goliaths, so I think XellOs is going to be able to clean this up. We'll have to see. A lot of... okay, another carrier went down there. That's pretty nice. That's what XellOs needs. He needs to kill these carriers more than he needs to kill random gateway units. And he will win the fight for this low ground here. So he will maintain control, although not mining from this base. Photon cannons, I think those are in range of the mineral lines, so probably just not able to mine here. Ooh, a nice storm on those Goliaths. I think he actually killed a couple of his own interceptors, but definitely worth hitting Goliaths. Okay, and here we go. I like this move. I don't think that sending all your Goliaths to the low ground is wise, but a nice counterattack here. See what there is for Zeus to defend. And actually, it's just a bit of a harass, so Not too much actually lost there for either player. Did manage to pull the carriers out of position though. Looks like they're going to be going for what we're going to call the natural. Oh wow, picked off one of those dropships before it dropped out too much, and another one went down as well, although at least the Goliaths had gotten out first. Kind of a painful loss there for XellOs. He's actually almost mined that base out, so it's going to be just this base here, the Eastern Continent base, and that is the one that's kind of most contested for. Like I said, I thought this game was going to come down to this base here, and it kind of is. A lot of the action's been here. The carriers are back doing some harassment, just fighting against these Goliaths now. More cannons being made. I love it. I think it's so funny to put cannons there. I don't know why. It's just such a cheeky move. More harassment from the carriers at this base. The problem here, really, though, is it's just there's no mining. XellOs is basically mined out. Unless he can secure this base properly, he's just not got an income anymore. His main is completely mined out, and his natural had like 3 patches left. All of them were low. He's got like 500 minerals left in the game to mine right now. As opposed to Zeus, who I believe still has some minerals at his own natural, and has his own continent base. Quite healthy at the moment. Another dropship picked off there. Always painful to lose those. They're quite expensive. And really not being replenished right now. XellOs, after losing dropships, just hasn't been able to afford making any more. So every time one of those goes down, it is very painful. Not only for the dropship itself, but also the units in it too. And I'm thinking Zeus has this one. It looks like he's just going to whittle down this Goliath count. And that's really all he has to do. As long as he's not losing carriers, if he's trading interceptors for Goliaths, and he's delaying the mining of XellOs, he's going to win. So I like not committing too hard to this. He kind of looks overly cautious right now what he's doing. And but I think that's just safer. Now we see the shuttles are unloading gateway units. Another pretty decent storm there on the Goliaths, but really at this point I kind of just want them to see unloading Dragoons and Zealots. They're going to fight so well against those Goliaths. And there we go, GG. Crazy game on this pretty freaking crazy map. What an interesting one though, Paradox. I won't say it's a favorite of mine, but I will say that it it's a weird one. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed this one. Stay tuned for more games from this tournament here. I'm going to be casting quite a few. There's a long playlist, and I kind of like that because, 2 months worth of games on one channel, or one playlist is always a nice find. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you come back for the next one.